New Year's 2020, my mom came to visit me, and I remember laying on the beach and being like, I think I want to start a flower company. My mom was like, what?
Tell me how the community of St. Pete has supported you in this journey.
I honestly don't think we would have a business if I didn't start here in St. Pete. Everyone just cuts them, puts them on their counter, and lets them sit there for a week and a half and wonders why they're dead or dying or their water's slimy and gross. You don't want to sit in the same bathtub for a week. Your flowers don't want to sit in the same water for a week either. 88% of men never receive flowers until their funeral, which is wild, right? Because it's like, what? That's crazy. We do our meditations a lot, and I love that for especially like entrepreneurs or like business owners, because we often don't stop and smell the roses, right? And we all need that.
What's your most memorable story of an impact that you made with flowers?
Oh, what a deep question, Ryan.
Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Talkin St. Pete. I'm your host, Ryan Bogden, and welcome to episode 101. Thank you for everyone who's been here, or if you're new here, thank you for joining Talkin St. Pete, the wonderful podcast where we talk about all the great things St. Petersburg, the business owners here, the artists here, the movers and shakers that make this town a great community to be a part of. This podcast is sponsored by Bogden Homes. So if you need anything in the real estate world, find our contact information in the description below. And today I have the lovely guest, Erica Holland with the Roaming Petal. She is here to talk all things flowers. She's making all of our days sweeter and brighter by bringing flowers into our lives. Erica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm so pumped to have you here, and thank you for being so patient and getting you here. And wow, and for me, I'm just having a moment of like 101 episodes.
That's crazy. Congrats.
Whoa.
That's wild. That's an accomplishment in itself.
It is wild because I only knew 3 business owners when I started this thing.
Oh, look at you now. I love that. Now you know over 100.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Erica, I'm sure everyone is so intrigued by flowers, meaning myself, because it's such a funny gift to give someone in my mind because it's so heartwarming, and then they die.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they got to come back and buy more.
Then you get more.
Right.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So you have an interesting. Well, first, how long have you been in St. Pete?
About 5 years. 2020, end of 2020.
And you came from where?
Originally from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Was though in Bradenton for like 5 years before I came here.
Yeah.
Was in Australia before that. Kind of traveled there. Parents did the whole, move to Florida from New Jersey, retire, get a house with a boat, hang out here. So kind of followed them. And then they were in Bradenton, so went to Bradenton with them. Hated Bradenton for 5 years. Was awful. Used to commute to Tampa and live in Bradenton. And I was like, why does everyone live in St. Pete?
Yep.
So then at the end of 2020, after the world kind of collapsed, we came over this side to the bridge.
Came to St. Pete.
Yeah.
And so if I'm right about your background, you're a previous graphic designer.
Yep.
And you had some crazy voyage where you went to Bali and decided that you fell in love with flowers and you brought that here.
Yeah.
So tell us about that journey.
For sure.
Because I think it's a fun story of
Yeah.
how does going to Bali lead to opening a flower shop?
Yeah, I wasn't planning on an Eat, Pray, Love journey, but it kind of turned into that, I guess.
What kind of journey?
An Eat, Pray, Love journey.
Eat, Pray, Love. Okay.
The movie. Have you seen that movie?
No.
What?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, well, you have to go watch it. It's kind of a chick flick, but it's
That's
about...
probably why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but it's about a lovely woman traveling. It's based on a book, so it's really awesome. She travels to all these different countries, and Italy she eats in, then she goes and prays, and then she falls in love. So Bali's the one she falls in love in. We didn't find that. We found a business. We found love in our business.
No,
I
that's,
guess.
you know what? Some would say that's more important.
But I worked in advertising I still work in advertising, doing design and freelance and things like that. But I worked in advertising in Tampa and Australia for about 5-6 years or so when I came out of school. I'm working in kind of an agency setting, working on the computer, went to school for fine arts, have a graphic design degree, loved being creative, making things. However, I was like stuck on a screen for hours and hours every day. And I was like, this isn't really the kind of creativity that I thought it was going to be coming out of school. I always loved art and making stuff. So I was like, cool, design can pay me to do that, right? There's not a lot of art degrees that pay you well. But it was really, really long and kind of tedious hours in the office. And I was like, I need a journey. I need to take a break from the screen, from the office. And this was before COVID, so no one was really working remote. And I was like, I want to go travel. I'd loved to travel before. I'd lived in Australia, like I said. And Bali was always on my radar. It was also a really big hub, still is, for like digital nomads, remote workers, expats, things like that. At the time, not a lot of people were working remote. And when I left the company, I was like, I'm going to freelance, start my own thing, work remote, and see where it takes me. So I wanted to be surrounded by other people who were also working remote, building things kind of in that culture. So I hopped on a plane with a one-way ticket to Bali to kind of figure out what I wanted to do with my design career, essentially. whether it was going to be remote work, whether it was going to be my own agency, work for a company. But yeah, I kind of fell in love with how they use flowers over there.
Tell me about that. So what do you mean? So
Yeah.
you're there, you're hanging out, and you just see flowers. Like, I've never been
Yeah.
to Bali, so for
Oh my
those that
God.
haven't been, like,
For sure.
are there flowers, like...
Everywhere. First of all, everyone needs to go. It's very far, but it's beautiful and very cheap. But yeah, so they use flowers as really part of like their day-to-day lives versus just like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthdays.
What do you mean?
It's all over the place. So they have like all their decor. Imagine like you walk into a beautiful like hotel lobby, and instead of just like an arrangement, their floors are covered in flower petals that are in different intricate designs and murals. All of their offerings they do like 3 times a day are all over the streets, all over the homes. They're really spiritual in that way. So they put flowers out with all of
Is
them.
Bali got great climate for good flower growing?
It's
like,
tropical like here.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
so-
hot, it's humid.
Okay, so they grow
A
some...
lot of marigolds, yeah,
it.
things like that. They can grow a lot, but they also have different areas like in Indonesia that they can like use to harvest them from. So they're also very third worldy. So like they don't go out and buy like balloons and like things made of plastic and paper. They make them out of the palm leaves and the trees and the flowers and
That's
nature.
sick.
Yeah, that's already there. So I was like, oh my God, I love this. Always wanted to work in a flower shop, but never really pursued it. So literally just WhatsApped a flower shop one day and it was like, hey, can I come help you guys for free?
In Bali?
Okay. And they were like, sure. I was like, okay, cool. When can I start? And they were like, whenever. And so I started helping in a flower shop there and just sitting on the floor with them, making flower arrangements, learning about the practice of it. And it was just so much therapy for me that I fell in love with it. It was very hands-on. It got me off the screen.
Yeah.
And yeah, we started kind of playing with flowers that way.
Okay, well, that's a great way to start playing with flowers.
Yeah.
How long were you in Bali?
Yeah, I was there for about 6 months, living there kind of just
And how
chilling.
long into that journey did you decide to join the flower shop?
Pretty shortly after, about a month or two, kind of being there.
Okay, so you're at the flower shop for like 4 months.
Yeah,
And I guess that's where you learned some of the things that you needed to bring back.
Yeah, for sure. So I would sit on the floor every day with the Balinese women and make flower arrangements for all different kinds of events. They spoke very little English and I spoke very little Bahasa. So it was really a visual learning experience, but it was so much fun. And then when I came back to the States, I worked at the wedding and event florist for a bit before I started my own thing to kind of learn the flower industry over here.
Yeah, so tell me about that. So when you left Bali, was the thought, okay, I'm going to go start my own thing, or was it, hey, I'm just going to go work in the flower industry?
Kind of both. I literally was laying on the beach on New Year's 2020. My mom came to visit me, and I remember laying on the beach and being like, I think I want to start a flower company. And my mom was like, what? And I was like, I want to teach classes, but I can't teach something I know nothing about. Right? So I was like, how am I going to learn first and then be able to bring this to other people? Because there wasn't really anywhere people like the average person can go. We don't teach florists. We're not trying to train someone to be an expert florist. We're training the average person who can go to the grocery store and pick up flowers and arrange them in their home for themselves, for their friends, for their family. So there wasn't really a place that you could do that. And so I kind of had the idea first and then kind of worked at a lot of other places
Before you
to
left
learn.
Bali?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm always interested in
Yeah.
where the seed of
Oh
thought
yeah, it was planted long before we left.
Okay, so you leave Bali and you're like, okay, but you can't open the shop, so you went and worked for a local florist.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Yeah, and then we were doing weddings, we were doing events. Weddings were not really my jam. We do some events and some wedding stuff,
Why?
but
The bridezillas?
it's just crazy. Like I worked in advertising and I was like, this is also insane. I was like, I tried to get out of that to get into something more relaxing and more playful and more creative. And I was like, this is wild. Like I love weddings and I love doing the design, but because flowers are so perishable, the timelines are so short and so tight. Like you can't design for a wedding a week and a half before. You have to do it the 3 days leading up to the wedding, right? So it's a lot of long hours. And I was like, this was just as crazy as what I was doing.
Right.
And my joy was really connecting with the flowers and making and playing with them. And I was like, other people definitely need to experience this too. So we kind of learned our skills working with them and then kind of a lot on our own, trial and error, experimenting. We've always been crafty, so it's been really easy to bring my design skills into flowers. It's just kind of a different medium to kind of work with.
Okay, so now you open your shop, and the idea is the workshop. So
Yeah.
now, okay, so give us the full gamut of what you do.
Yeah, so we've been mobile for the last 4 years, right? We're the Roaming Petal because we roam all around. And so we started going into like homes, offices, event spaces, buildings, basically teaching flower workshops on site for people, for private parties, public workshops, kind of corporate events, things like that. And we would bring everything there and then walk them through step by step. We're still mobile, but we started in my apartment, then we moved to my garage. Now we have the shop. So we've been all in St. Pete in the last 5 years. So that's been a wild journey to kind of unfold because we were always going into other spaces teaching classes, which we still love to do. But now we have the shop, so people can come and we have weekly classes there where they can come and literally learn anything from like making a bouquet to making a wreath to making flower ornaments to pressing dried flowers to yoga and flowers and meditation, charcuterie bouquets, like all kinds of fun stuff, free craft nights, anything that they can kind of play and be creative with in the shop.
That's very different.
Yeah.
That's very different. That's cool. So who's showing up? Is it like do people bring like whole groups of people? Is it individuals? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I never gone to a flower workshop.
Ryan, you never been to one of our workshops?
I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll have to get you to one.
It's not until recently that I'm thinking, maybe flowers are all right.
Yeah. Do you know what to know? It's men's like mental health awareness month, right, in June. And it's like a crazy statistic that 88% of men never receive flowers until their funeral, which is wild, right? Because it's like, what? That's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's always give the women flowers.
Well, luckily, because of you, this is my third time getting flowers.
I know. We like to bring all of our friends flowers all the time. It's important. You need to get them because it is. It's a beautiful thing and it makes everyone happy.
It does.
Yeah. So what was your question? Who
comes
up? To the classes?
Who's showing up?
Yeah. So we have a multitude of things. We do private events there. So people can rent out the space with their own like group of people. So people come for like team building. We've had like real estate agents, for example, come and rent out the space for client events or things like that. We do birthday parties there, bridal showers there, pretty much anything people want to just celebrate with blooms and make something crafty. It's BYOB. You can bring food in, hang out. We have a little garden in the back. Yeah. So it's a little experience in itself. Plus it's in the flower shop. So it's very vibey and cute for the girlies. But then we also do our public workshops, right? So you can just buy a ticket for yourself as an individual. You can come with a group of friends. Usually our workshops that are private are about like 10 or more people. So if you don't have a whole group of 10 people, the public workshops are great to just like, come experience it for yourself, sign up for a one-time class.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How different was that for you? I mean, in the growth process from going from your apartment, garage, mobile, and now having space. It's a one bootstrapping and natural growth, which is cool, and people can appreciate that story. But that changes the dynamic totally. So now having physical space, what's the business like now that you have the physical space?
It's definitely more stressful. I will say that. Being in my tiny apartment was like, oh, this is fun. And like, I'm just making flower arrangements and teaching them. And then now that we have the shop, it's like, okay, now we have overhead. I was just saying earlier, our AC broke today. And it's 78 degrees in our flower shop currently, which is not great for us, but also terrible for the flowers.
Right.
And we have an event tonight. So it's, now it's like, okay, how do we get the AC guy out ASAP to fix the AC and spend all this money to fix this now that wasn't in the budget for the month, So it's definitely been a big learning experience, a big adjustment, kind of scary, kind of fun, kind of crazy, all in the same time. I never thought we'd have a shop, to be perfectly honest. That was never really on my radar. We started looking at spaces last year because a partner of mine, Reagan, who owns Arms of Persephone Floral, is our partner in the business, and she does all of our weddings and event florals. And she kind of came to me with the idea of like, joining in together on a space after she was moving out of her flower shop. And I was still working in my garage at the time, but my team was growing, things were growing, and it was kind of like, people can't keep coming into my second bathroom and getting flowers to go to events. Like, it's kind of weird. They come in my house and my dog is here and they're getting flowers and like we didn't have a cooler.
Yeah, but that's like a cool part of the story, I think,
for sure.
Like,
and it's definitely like, that's people starting their garages all the time, I guess.
That's how Apple was started.
Right. It's one of those crazy things. But yeah, having the space now is definitely a big thing. Definitely a lot more like systems and processes and like logistics have to go into place for running a whole shop and keeping it up to date, and a lot of cleaning and a lot of prep and all that stuff.
So tell me how the community of St. Pete has supported you in this journey.
Yeah. I honestly don't think we would have a business if I didn't start here in St. Pete.
Why is that?
Because we were mobile, like our first workshops we ever had were partners with other businesses in St. Pete that were already established. So, right, like Intermezzo was our first Valentine's Day workshop. We work with Book and Bottle all the time. Like, they're amazing partners of ours. And had we not had the spaces to like host these classes at, we never would have been able to kind of take off. Originally, I was like, we're just going to do private parties in people's homes. And then I was like, how are people going to know that we do that?
Right, yeah.
So we started partnering with other businesses, and always has been like great response when we reach out to, partner or to, sell tickets. And then people kind of see us about in those ways. Pop-ups, markets, things like that have been really, really great here. As we know, St. Pete has a beautiful culture that's artsy and creative and fun. And they all love to collaborate, which I think is so crazy because being from New Jersey, it's a very different, experience being in New York, where it's a little bit more cutthroat, more competitors. Like, my partner has a flower shop and is in the flower industry herself, and we've always been friends since day one. It was never like, oh, you're in the flower industry, we shouldn't talk to each other.
I try to put a finger on that and try to figure out why that is. Why do you think that is? Like, it is different, other cities probably would say, "Oh no, we're collaborative," but it's like another level of collaboration.
It's wild.
In St. Pete.
It's crazy. Like the amount of, and I don't know. I think it's just because a lot of us also are transplants here. I think a lot of us came from other places, so we're looking for those networks not only in like friendships, but in work and family and all those things. So people understand like we need to build our community versus when you grow up in the same place your whole life or you work in a city forever, you're like, I'm established here. These are my people. I'm not trying to make those connections as much. But a lot of the business owners here aren't from here, right? So it's really nice to see them like also want to reach out and connect. And it's like goes the same way. Like we get requests, we ask for requests.
Well, because you're bringing
beautiful
value to the business.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're showing up and now you're driving sales for them because if people are coming in to do something different, which is it's great. It makes a lot of sense. You recently created a big flower dress.
We did. For sure. She's in the shop right now.
Yeah. What was the reason? Like, how did that thing come to be?
Yeah. So Art in Bloom that happens at the Museum of Fine Arts every year. I think next year's like their 20th anniversary of it. Asked us to create a gown. We created a gown last year. It's our 4th year exhibiting in the show, which basically, if people don't know, it's kind of like the Museum of Fine Arts puts on a weekend-long event where they bring in florists, floral enthusiasts to pair with a piece of artwork in the museum, and then they make a flower arrangement based off of the artwork or sculpture or whatever it might be. So we made a dress the year prior based off of a kimono Japanese art gallery exhibit. And then they were like, that was amazing. Can you please make one again for the lobby? Like, we want to have it. And now they're like, please make one again next year. So it was really, really fun. I've always just wanted to make a flower dress. It was really kind of my own selfishness of being like, I'm never going to get to make this for anything that I know of. So I'm just going to make it for this because we can do whatever we want and show our creativity however we want.
It was
so
really cool. How much time, like what's the thought process? Like how does one go about making a dress of flowers?
Yeah, honestly, it's a lot of just like, let's see what works. The flower industry has a lot of mechanics behind it that most people like don't know. So it's really kind of a lot of just chicken wire and twine and zip ties and glue for the most part. So basic supplies. It's on a dress form, so we basically just created a gown on the dress form. So it's glued to the dress form. It took about 3 days to kind of create itself from structure.
How do you go about selecting my process? I'll be thinking, okay, what flowers do I pick to make the dress out of?
Yeah, for sure. So this one was completely dried. So we had to pick flowers that were going to dry really well. The first year we did fresh flowers in it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So flowers that dry, that look okay when they're not in water. Right? Because the gown itself.
When you hang them upside down and they dry out?
Yeah, and they dry out. Yeah.
All right, look.
Yeah, I love this. For the people who have no idea about flowers.
I have no idea.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like baby's breath, most people know what baby's breath is, right? It's like the white. Yeah. She dries really well. The entire skirt.
The flower's a she?
Yeah. Sometimes they're boys. It depends.
How do you know? Is there blue baby's breath?
If you spray it blue.
Oh, I feel like I've seen that before. So that's not natural.
No.
Okay.
It's naturally white, but you can spray it whatever color you want. The skirt is 4 different shades of pink that we spray painted pink.
Oh, so you did spray paint the flowers?
Yeah.
See, this is the creative I'm curious about.
Yeah, I don't love that because it's not really great for the environment and we don't like to put chemicals usually on our flowers. But for a gown where we're trying to make it look like a specific color, style, shape, texture, sure, we can spray paint flowers.
Got it. Okay, so you're doing flowers that don't have to be in water.
Yeah.
Makes sense. That dry well. Just I'm getting the terminology.
Yeah, I love it.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So
what other flowers dry well besides baby's breath?
Yeah, so baby's breath, limonium. Usually we say things that are texture elements, which most people don't know what those are in the flower world.
That's what you're here to teach us.
Yeah, because most people are like, I like the big pretty flowers, which we call focal flowers. So like a rose is a focal flower. It's one big beautiful bloom on a stem. A sunflower, a daisy. Those are big focal flowers. But usually things that are like little tiny flowers that look kind of different, kind of unique, usually a texture element that we add into arrangements, whether it's fresh or dry, whatever it might be, those tend to dry a little bit better. It's really a trial and error game. You might not know. There's a whole list of things that dry well. The dresses also has straw flower on it, which is a really pretty flower, fresh and dry. You can dry a rose. It just looks completely different when it dries, right? Versus when it's fresh. So it's kind of figuring out, what flowers are going to dry really well, what flowers don't need a lot of water. You don't really want to put flowers in the dress that need a lot of water because the dress has to sit there for 4 days. So you're going to have to end up replacing the flowers or just letting it decay. It's a natural
that's
process.
What it's doing right now, decaying?
No, it's all dried. We use all dried flowers for it.
So how long will this thing, as long as you want?
As long as I want.
It's hanging out.
It's just hanging.
That's neat.
It's in the shop, just chilling.
What's your favorite kind of flower?
Ooh, so purple orchids are my favorite flower.
Since when?
Since when? Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. Maybe since I went to Asia, actually, because they are really big, like in Singapore and over there. But I always really liked them. They're just so unique, and I don't use them in arrangements a lot because, as we all know, orchids are so hard to take care of and keep alive.
Do we know this?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe not. Have you ever had an orchid plant? You never had an orchid plant?
I feel like I gifted one once.
Yeah, okay, well, gift it with care instructions because they're really hard to keep alive unless you're like, I don't know, even as someone who works with flowers.
Why are they so tough?
They like don't really need a lot of attention, but they also like do.
Oh.
They bloom. They also once they bloom, their blooms fall off and then they look like they're dead, but you still have to keep it watered.
But they're not dead.
They're not dead. They just look dead.
Okay.
They just look like a stick with leaves.
I'm very flower illiterate.
Yeah, that's okay. It's totally fine. As are most people. Most people don't work in the flower world.
For us.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, so the purple orchid. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can see it. I'm picturing it. I think we'll put one up.
You can look at one later.
On the screen here.
For sure.
Okay, so since Asia, that makes sense.
What's your favorite flower?
I don't know. Let me think about that for a second. I really don't know. I think roses are nice, but I like sunflowers.
Yeah.
And I like sunflower when there's like you're driving past a big field of them.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. But I don't know. I probably would need to see a book of flowers, and I probably would pick one. Let me see. Let me look.
Yeah.
At
What's
these
in there? What do you like in there?
Well, these blue guys are cool because I like the blues.
Those are more pink and purpley in there.
Yeah, but this guy's kind of cool too. Right?
Yeah.
What is this? What is it?
That's a mum.
A mum.
A chrysanthemum. Yeah.
I'm so dumb when it comes to
No,
flowers.
it's okay. Most people have no idea.
What is this?
That's a version of a ranunculus in there. She's kind of a crazy ranunculus, but
Ranunculus. Mm-hmm. And what's the blue guys?
I honestly can't remember what those are called. We grew them in our garden, and I don't remember what we put back there.
They are kind of really cool when you look at it up close.
And they grow here.
They kind of look like, I'm trying to remember a movie of a flower that came to life and maybe would eat you.
It's terrifying. I don't know if I love that. No, I'm scared of her.
Yeah, I don't know.
Those are the same ones. They're just not kind of open yet.
Open.
Yeah.
And these are roses?
Yeah, that's a rose for sure. This is a rose. And
How
that's
many
a
different
stalk.
flavors of roses are there?
Oh my God, so many. I don't even know. Endless.
Really?
They basically.
And do people, are they like breeding? Like,
Yeah.
you like breed flowers?
Yeah, they
how do
can
you do that
breed
if they're
them.
a seed?
Yeah, they like cross pollinate and mix the
I'm
seeds
never really
and stuff.
getting into all that. I don't really know how that works, the GMO
Yeah,
stuff.
it's kind of crazy. I don't know as much about it because we don't grow our own flowers. We do have some flowers that we grow in the back,
cut a seed in
but
half and another seed in
I'm
half
like,
and mush them together.
I don't know. I'm like, I think it's more they plant them together next to each other, like in the beds. This could be completely wrong. I have no idea, but it's more like where they're growing. I think because they can like cross like hybrid basically come together, but they make roses like different colors, things like that. So that's just like the genetics of the rose. They can like change all that.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
That is wild.
And wild. But there's lots of roses, lots of varieties of different kinds of flowers all over the place.
What's your most memorable story of an impact that you made with flowers?
Oh, what a deep question, Ryan. Memorable story about an impact we made with flowers. Let me think for a minute here. I love giving out flowers all the time, so it's always fun for me. Honestly, I think we did an event one time at the Ronald McDonald House, and we were serving food, but they also had us bring flowers in, and we gave out like little vase arrangements to the families that were staying there, and some of them have been there for like a really, really long time. You've no idea what like their kids are going through, and they're like in and out, and seeing like them come just like very quickly in and out because they're busy, right? They're like, they don't know, they have to go in for treatment, they have to do this. And seeing just the light on their faces coming in to be like, oh my God, flowers for me, like for what? Like just a random act of kindness. It really hits your heart because you don't realize like people come in and buy flowers all day. We can give flowers for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, but like the little subtle impact of just giving someone who's like going through something really, really tough and then seeing them bring it either to their kids or just for themselves, like that little self-care ritual for them and seeing the joy in a crazy day that they might be having. Yeah, I think is really, really beautiful. We've worked with the Children's Cancer Center too in Tampa, and the moms come in and have like an hour to make arrangements. And it's always, I feel like those settings where people aren't thinking that they need flowers or want flowers or usually would be getting flowers, the change like in their energy from when before to after they get them is just so beautiful to see. And that's what makes me happy about giving flowers.
No, it's amazing. And it's heartfelt and grounding for them. And as you said, like that experience for you was therapeutic while you're in Bali.
Yeah.
That's cool that you're bringing that. Because what I like in this and that with the workshops, it's getting people hands on with the flowers because normally you're not like you get them, they're in a vase, that's it.
Yeah, move on.
And I can see how that like you're making something beautiful with natural beauty for the most part.
Yeah,
right?
all the nature.
Except for the genetically modified roses.
We try to work the farm as much as we can, but yeah.
So what's the trick to keeping these bad boys alive for a while?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, Ryan. Do you know? Do you have any idea?
No.
A random guess?
Maybe you trim them, don't put the leaves in the water.
Perfect.
Nope, that's all I got.
That's good. Those are great tips.
Okay,
amazing.
great.
Yeah. Biggest thing is like a fresh cut and clean water, like every 1 to 2 days. Everyone just cuts them, puts them on their counter, and lets them sit there for a week and a half, and wonders why they're dead or dying or their water's slimy and gross. A fresh cut and clean water keeps them happy. I always say in our classes, like you don't want to sit in the same bathtub for a week. Your flowers don't want to sit in the same water for a week either, right? They want nice clean water.
That's good. Okay, that's good.
But you also need to cut them. So even if you change the water, flowers, just like our own skin, naturally start to scab and heal themselves over. So even if you change the water, if you don't give them that fresh cut and kind of like a 45-degree angle, they can't keep drinking up and hydrating properly. So
what's the point of the 45-degree?
Yeah, it gives it a much larger surface area, basically.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's just a larger area. You can go crazy. You can cut them like even further if you want, but 45 is totally fine on there too. The leaves also, you don't want your leaves in the water, like you said. Causes a lot of bacteria, which kills the flowers a lot faster.
Are we putting anything in the water?
Yeah, we can. So everyone always gets that little flower food pack, right? A lot of times, the grocery store, wherever. Want to know what's in there? Any guesses?
I have no idea.
This is Q&A for you right now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Bleach and sugar is in that little packet. Yeah. I know. It sounds crazy because bleach kills
the bacteria?
everything. Yeah. So bleach kills bacteria, right, on surfaces. So a little bit of bleach in your water. If you don't have a flower food pack, you can put a little bleach in your water. It'll keep the water fresher and just keep the bacteria levels down until you're ready to kind of change it again. The sugar just helps to kind of perk them up a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What if you add a little coffee in there? A little caffeine?
I don't know if they like that. Some people put vodka in it.
You know what you just reminded me of as I said that? This is crazy. I'm glad I'm sharing this story. I did an experiment when I was in elementary school with 2 different plants. I gave one plant, and I had it was the scientific method. We had it was 2 plants about the same size, had to water them at the same time. Mm-hmm. Although one I watered with water and the other I watered with Mountain Dew. Mountain Dew to see what would happen. And if I remember correctly, the plant with the Mountain Dew grew faster, but then started to smell very bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so the experiment got blown up because that plant, my mom made me live on the front porch and not in the controlled environment of the house. But I remember I had to write a report about giving a plant Mountain Dew.
I love that. Did you get to pick Mountain Dew, or was it?
No, I think I got to make up the experiment.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, this was.
You were I think it will do well with this.
This was Ryan's creation of what will happen between water and Mountain Dew. But it makes sense why it took off because of the sugar.
Yeah, so a lot of times people will ask if we should put Sprite in our water, because that's also a thing, because Sprite has sugar and citrus in it, and sugar is what's in flower food. The citrus helps to balance out the pH in the water. So Sprite
over bleach.
Yeah, I always just say put bleach in it because it's the easiest thing. If you cut them and change the water, you really don't need to do anything. But everyone's like, what's the extra thing I can do in case I don't do this? Those are fun little things.
And then if we want to get real crazy, we can hang the flowers upside down.
Yeah, you can dry them. Hang them upside down. Cool, dark place, a few weeks. Gravity will let them keep their shape. They can dry. Not every flower is going to dry really well, so you kind of have to like test it and see. Roses dry really well, but like that mum is not going to dry really well because she's really delicate, so her petals are going to start to kind of fall off. So trial and error on what lasts really long.
This is cool. This is cool.
Yeah.
So when you're not in the flower shop, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
How is St. Pete giving you this warm hug? Because, I mean, you come in with so much energy and so much joy,
Yeah.
you know? And being here in St. Pete, like, obviously it's helped your business, but, like, you know, life in here isn't bad either, right?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I live right downtown, so I can walk everywhere, which I love. I love that we have such a walkable city and we're so close to the beach and the bay and the water and all of that. That makes me very happy for sure in the warm weather. I love yoga. I'm like, you know, meditation. We do flower meditations. We do all meditations all the time. So I'm like, anything that's woo-woo and healing in that way. That's my creative outlet. Sound baths, yoga, all that fun stuff. Where do you like to go
do yoga?
I usually go to Beach Town, but I also like Stuco Life because it's not like a heated traditional studio. Also, a new studio that opened that I've been going to is called Velvet Mat. Have you been there? It's like underground. Oh, it's cool. It's literally like right around the corner from here. It's literally like you go down a bunch of staircases and you would never think there's a yoga studio in this building. And it's like all like coolly lit and very dark and mystical and mysterious. Yeah. But a friend of mine has that, so it's fun. Non-heated, yeah. I know. It depends on my vibe. If I'm looking for hot, we've been to yoga together. We've been to Beach Town. We love them. They're great.
Yeah, shout out Noah and Claire.
Yeah,
they're great.
Shout out to them. They're great. But yeah, coffee shops. Love a coffee shop.
Where are you going for coffee?
Oh my God, where are we not going for coffee? It depends. Really depends on my day and my mood because there's so many of them. I'm literally at Sourdough probably at least once a week. They're not even a coffee shop. Well, they are a coffee shop, but they have coffee in there. Yeah. I can walk to Porn Decor, so that's also a big one for me. I like to be able to walk to places instead of getting in my car. Also love Paradeco. That's a vibe when I'm trying to be creative and come up with ideas. That's my go-to.
Really? You know what's cool? I saw a picture of Paradeco before it was Paradeco.
Yeah, what was it?
I don't remember, but they changed so much. Like the front doors, where the front doors are now, or was a window. That wasn't even the entrance.
What?
Yeah, one of our agents
weird.
sold them or leased them that space, and so they had a picture of what it was previously.
Yeah, because they have a door on the backside too, so that makes sense. I guess.
So it was wild looking at it.
Interesting.
Like, it doesn't, like they really changed it up. They had the vision. You got to appreciate the vision.
I love that.
Because something about Paradeco is like, whether the coffee is good or not, and they have good coffee, but you're there for the vibe.
It's the vibe, 100%. Like when I have to be creative and brainstorm, I'm like, this is my coffee shop.
So what's that creative process look like for you?
Yeah, so we come up with new classes pretty much every season and every month.
Really? You don't rinse and repeat these things?
I mean, sometimes, like, every Christmas we do wreaths, right? We're always going to do fresh wreaths, but I can't keep doing the same fresh wreath like year after year. I get bored and I don't want to teach the same thing over and over again.
So you're
and
sitting in a coffee
change.
shop, you don't have flowers in front of you, but are you or do you have pictures of flowers? Like how, like...
Yeah, we're a Pinterest fiend. We love Pinterest. Yeah,
okay,
so a lot of it is, it's looking at trends because the flower, just like any industry, there's trends, right? There's always things that are coming out. The wedding industry has trends with flowers. Everything has different trends that kind of come and go. So we're looking at different trends, different crafts, different things that are kind of like, popular and present now that we can bring into the next season or the next, month or something like that we're going to do. We do things from fresh flowers to dried flowers too. So the process is kind of like, okay, here's our month. What kind of holidays going on? What season are we in? What's happening? May was insane because it's everything in one month. It's like Mother's Day, graduation, teacher appreciation, nurse appreciation. You're like, okay, who are we targeting?
Oh,
right?
Wow. Okay,
that
was going to be where I was going next, because I know you keep bringing up Mother's Day and Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Which must be your two Super Bowls of the
For
year.
sure.
Is there any other big one that's going to happen in?
Yeah, so fall, like honestly, like around Thanksgiving time and Christmas time is super big for us as well, both of those seasons. It's a little bit slower in summertime, so we're trying to do some fun stuff at the shop to, bring people in during the hot months, come play with nature inside. But yeah, those are usually, the flower industry in a whole is usually really busy around holiday seasons, right? Because people are going places, they want flowers on their tables, they want to bring flowers as gifts. I think people should have flowers all the time, but
You may be a little biased.
Yeah. But yeah, those are kind of the four like major kind of seasons. So we usually try to base like our crafts on our workshops and things. But when people do their own like birthday parties and events, it's pretty much they give us a color palette and we can come up with anything that they want. So yeah, it's always fun. That's the artist part that I can bring over into
the creative is always
world.
interesting. I've asked a lot of people the creative questions on the show because it's like that process for everyone looks so different.
Yeah. It's very different from the design and advertising world where I would like sit there and like concept and sketch and come up with these ideas and then try and like formulate it. Now it's kind of like, ooh, that looks fun. Let me make it.
What's cool about you is sitting here is like your passion for this is like radiating like through. I know everyone listening can feel it. Like you are so passionate about what you do in the flowers and bringing the workshop element to it. It's such a fun, different thing than just going into a place. Like in the past, like I would just show up. I'm like, I got this thing. I just need flowers quick. Like I'm just, like, I don't think anything of it. It's like hand off, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So I guess I need to come in and maybe do a workshop.
Yeah, we're really about the wellness of like working with nature. It's really more of a creative like wellness practice than anything else. So you can calm, relax, get out of the craziness. We say we help people disconnect to reconnect. So get off your screens, reconnect with yourself, nature, each other, in just a fun and, playful kind of way that as adults we forget to do a lot of the
Do you
times.
have regulars?
We do have some people, that come back. We have like open craft nights. People come back. We have people come like every, quarter for a different workshop or a different class, which we love. And I love seeing people from the community, pop up, or they'll follow us for like a flower bar or something where we're like popped up around town and they can just come make a bouquet on their own. So yeah, it's always really fun to see familiar faces.
What's the future hold? Where are you going? What's next?
Oh, what a great question. We just did our first ever virtual workshop. So I know, we're like, what the heck does that look like? So it was actually a lady who's based here in St. Pete, works for a company, and their team is all over the U.S. And she's been to one of our workshops before and was like, our team needs this. We work in sales and it's crazy and we need a mental health break with flowers. And I was like, great. And we actually did a dried flower class with them, but we incorporated our floral meditation into it, which is basically kind of sitting with the flower, focusing on all your senses.
Did they have to go
breathing.
get their own flowers?
We ship boxes all over the country to them.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we put together 50 different boxes and shipped them out all across the U.S. And then popped online for like an hour. And yeah, did a little meditation,
concept.
did a craft. Yeah.
Did it go well?
It was great. They loved it. They were like, this was so needed. It was kind of weird being on a screen, I'm not going to lie, because I'm so much like an in-person, and it's hard to read energy a lot, like if people are engaged or like, are you enjoying this? Or do you need help? I don't know. I can't see. There's 50 people on the screen versus in a classroom, I can be like, oh, I can see you're struggling. Let me come help you.
Right.
But we did like pressed flower frames. So it was a very easy class for them to take their pressed flowers that we had sent them and put them in a frame. Kind of gives them a little bit more creative freedom than like a fresh arrangement or something like that, and much easier to ship than the beautiful fresh flowers are.
Just sent some dry flowers and and the picture frame came with it?
Everything came in the box.
Everything in a box.
Yeah, and we sent them a dried rose so that they could do their little meditation with it, so that they had a rose to keep after forever and ever.
Well, this seems like something that is pretty scalable. You should do again.
Yeah, for sure. That's the goal. Yeah, we would like to do workshops kind of all over, like whether we're traveling and doing them like in bigger cities or like for bigger events on stages. We do our meditations a lot, and I love that for especially like entrepreneurs or like business owners, because we often don't stop and smell the roses, right? And we all need that. So it's a really good practice and a really easy way for people to like look at something, especially if you can't meditate and sit in silence. It gives you something to focus on, which is really nice, and focus on your breath and kind of just look at the beauty of the flower and really set an intention for yourself, and kind of just then you can go back into your day and move on, and it's nothing crazy or intense.
Yeah, I love that. I'm just thinking with you, like at the scalability of that and where you take it. I think it's fun. You said you never saw yourself having the workshop, and now you do. So I'm always I'm curious of like, and maybe you don't know, like what's the next.
Yeah, the next big thing. Yeah, I would love to teach bigger classes for sure, like all over. I feel like it's so needed in so many areas and so many places, and it's fun, and you can do it anywhere. There's flowers. You can get flowers anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed, like, and I know you're about to take a trip to Germany and Europe. There are more. I just had a trip last summer to Italy through the Dolomite, and there's just fresh flowers just growing everywhere. Yeah. And I feel like we don't. I don't know why. I just don't see it enough here. Maybe
we're not
just
great at it.
Well, maybe I'm sure there's definitely places, but just in the cities, I don't feel like we decorate with flowers as much.
Yeah, I feel like it's more part of their cultures too, because they're like countrysides, right? Like they have like, and I guess like out, if you go more out into like our country areas.
I was just in Panama, and there was fresh flowers hanging out on every balcony.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Bring it more here. More people need flowers. I think we're just so used to like being like the rush of the day to day that like something so simple as like a bouquet of flowers or a plant that like, we have plant lovers. People love plants and we know they're good for us. But over there, it's like, it's just so part of their everyday, and they see them all over that is so easy and accessible. They're like, yeah, we must have these.
Well, it gets into our culture, right? Our culture is we're so work driven.
Yep.
And there's so much pride in work where it's like, in Europe, if you work a minute past what you're supposed to, your coworkers are literally yelling at you.
100%.
Because it's like, no, that's not why we're here.
Yeah, it's not your purpose.
And it's weird because it's like, it's such a culture difference in that, and I think that shows up in even in the small things of how many flowers are around.
Yeah, for sure. I think that was one of the biggest reasons why like I started my own business too, because it was like after living in Australia for a year, their mindset is also very health focused. Like everyone like wakes up and runs in the morning before work and rides their bikes after work, or they're surfing or whatever. And I was like, wow, this is wild. Like, and we do that here too. Like people are active, but it was so much more like part of everyone's day-to-day life. And they were like, leave work and go be outside, right? Like it was really important and like have all this vacation time so you can be with your family and do all these things. And then like coming back here and working out was like, what are we doing? And we all know it. Like we all know we're work driven, and having your own business, you're also working all of the time. But at least it's something that like I feel passionate about and like enjoy doing, and doesn't feel like I'm working a million hours a week, even though, we all are. And it brings, a light and joy, and hopefully it gives other people a little break in their crazy day.
You clearly are. I
Yeah.
mean, the fact that lady reached out to you to do the virtual thing, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
You need to advertise that more.
I know. Well, I didn't even advertise it. She just came to me and was like, "Can you do this?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe. Let me see what it costs."
It was a success, right?
Yeah, and it was great. And she was beautiful because she worked with me on it.
Especially in this time of like, there's so many, there's like the work from home culture is in a weird spot. Companies are calling people back, but people are still doing it. But there's like a lot of like studies come out now of like the disconnect and the isolation of what that does. And so, to do a team activity virtually and bring some nature into the house and do that, at first people might be like, but there's going to be those that are like, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
I needed that. Changed it up a little bit. Because I have some friends right now that I'm helping buy a home, and, they both work from home. And I'm like, man, like you guys have to be so intentional to get out of the house.
Yeah, do something else.
Yeah. Right? Like that's got to be tough. What a weird time.
Yeah.
We're still feeling the remnants of COVID and all that.
It's still crazy. And I think it's going to stay like that. Like, a lot of companies, I think, are going to stay remote because it's cheaper for them in the long run for things like that. But it's also like, the aspect of like being in an office space and like getting up and going to the bathroom and seeing a coworker and talking to them and having a conversation gets lost when you're just like, I'm sitting and staring at a screen all day having virtual meetings. Not always.
Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
For sure.
Yeah, the collaboration. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Luckily, St. Pete's very collaborative. And we're outside and we do all the things.
Everyone loves it. You can go sit in a coffee shop and work. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so you gave us your coffee shops. If it's your birthday, Erica, and we're going out to eat, where are we going?
Oh, where are we going? I do love Wild Child. It's always a fave of mine. Where else? I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I can walk there. That's easy. They always have good food. I used to be a Cassis fan, but I'm not a fan anymore.
What happened?
I don't know. I just haven't been there in forever. I feel like it's been like one of those things like I used to go all the time, and I just haven't been in forever. Mainly because also like I'm gluten free too, so a lot of those places have good gluten free options for me.
Well, then you like Craft Cafe, you have to. Right?
Love Craft Cafe, yes, for sure. And it's outside, which I also love because you can sit there and, watch people go by and see everyone because you can never sit there and not see someone that in St. Pete.
Well, that's something that you're not only like, you already have something that people come, but you're well networked. Like you're part of networking groups, you're out and about, you're doing all the things. Does that come natural to you?
You want to know what's so funny? I used to be the shyest kid in the world.
No
like,
way.
Couldn't go into a restaurant and like my friends would have to order me pizza. Like if we went to a pizzeria.
What happened?
Couldn't talk to them. I think after college, I like went and traveled alone. Like I solo traveled, and I had to fend for myself, right? It was the first time I ever was completely alone in a foreign country. No parents, no family, no friends. Like didn't know anyone. It was just me. So like I had to figure it out, right? Like if I needed something, it was just on me to do it, which I think was such a good experience because it made me become more open. And I had my first ever sales job when I was over there. I did door-to-door sales when I lived there for a bit.
Really?
Which is wild, yeah.
What were you selling?
Voucher booklets for a charity.
Oh, wow.
And never in my life did I think I would do door-to-door sales, but still to this day, two of my favorite jobs were that job, and we sold wax hands at, like, carnivals there. Which
people put their hand...
Yeah, and the guy...
Were you a dipper?
I was a dipper. Yeah, we would take people's hands and dip them in wax, and it was like $30 for your hand dipped in wax. And the guy that owned this company was from the U.S., and I was like, "This is the smartest idea ever." Like, he wasn't even working the booths; he had like all these young kids.
Well, yeah,
doing
but his
it.
margins.
Like,
what's that wax cost?
Yeah, I was like, "This is a crazy business." So much so that when I came back to the U.S., I like looked into it. I was like, "Should I start a wax dipping business?" Thank God COVID happened because then I didn't start that. I think that really broke me out of my shell, for sure.
As you were saying that, I'm like, well, you could do the wax dip thing, cut the fingers off and put flowers in them.
Yeah, you could wax dip flowers.
Oh, maybe there's something there.
Yeah, it could be fun, for sure. All different kinds of fun things with it.
All right, so traveling, there's something to that. I think that's really important for I took my first solo trip just like 2-3 years ago, completely solo.
Yeah.
When I was like, all right, I'm just going to go, and I went scuba diving in Bonaire. and it was so weird but cool that I like kind of became a little addicted to it.
Yeah, it's a different experience for sure.
Yeah, because you're like, all right, what am I gonna do now? Whatever I want. Like, there's no one's other opinion.
Nope.
If I go left, do I go right? I don't know. Do I eat now? Do I eat later?
Yeah, there's someone to ask, like, do you want to do this? You're just like, nope.
And then when you're sitting there eating by yourself, there's like a lot of reflective period, and then like, okay, am I done now? Should I leave?
Yeah.
Do I order something else? Yeah. I think it's an experience everyone should do at least once.
I think for sure. You definitely realize, like, you never get out of that bubble, because if you travel with someone, you're never fully alone, right? Like, you're always, there's someone there for you at some point in time, where, like, when you're, like you said, like, that reflective period, or you never know, like, the people you might meet because you're alone. That's my favorite part, too, about being completely alone, because usually when you're with someone, you're not as adventurous to go out and meet new people. Some people are, but most people are like, I'm traveling with my person. Great. But when you're alone, you're like, oh, I should talk to a human today, maybe. Like, that's not me and my voice in my head. And you meet so many interesting, cool people, I find, when you're by yourself more than when you're, like, in a group or traveling together, because you have to, right?
Yeah.
You have to, like, talk to other humans around you.
People are like intrigued why you're by yourself.
Yeah, and you get cool stories and things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say if I could be like a professional traveler and networker, it would be great.
Well, I mean, you got the networker part, right? You got the networking piece down. You're doing that with flowers that bringing joy to all of us. You did say Wild Child. I was gonna get. But,
your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite restaurant?
You know, people ask me. I love Bavaro's.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Dan over there, who owns Bavaro's, does a great job. I've eaten there a lot. I love ceviche. Soul St. Pete. I don't go there enough, but Debbie and Ron.
Yeah.
Debbie crushes it there. I always shout them
out. And they're gluten free. And I've still never been.
Debbie's got like she shared her story. She was allergic to so many things, and so that's why the ingredients are so fresh. And they're the kindest, nicest people ever.
I love that.
Yeah, their place is a vibe. My new favorite thing to do, especially when people are here visiting, is what I call a taste of beach drive. This is branded by Ryan Bogden, Talkin St. Pete. Taste of beach drive. You only get appetizers at each of the restaurants on Beach Drive.
A little like appetizer bar crawl.
Yeah, because whether you're drinking or not drinking, like if you are, you'll be a little hammered by the end. But start at like Juno and then just work your way down. Ceviche's got good stuff. Go from there and then end if you're still hungry because you only got small bite. You end at Bella Brava and get a pizza.
I love that. That's great.
I had some friends in town from Canada. And was showing them some property, and then we spent 6 hours on Beach Drive.
Oh my God.
Doing that, like in the middle of the day on a Saturday, from like lunchtime to like dinner time, and like, man, we had so much fun. The conversation, and then once you like hit, you like change the vibe, and then it just continues to go.
One.
And there's something about when you try, like that's like kind of a mini travel with someone. Changing locations builds the story, and the level of connection that happens is so much deeper.
It's like all these new mini experiences in one.
Yeah. So you're welcome. You're welcome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I think we should do that as a friend group.
We should. Yeah. It's fun. It's fun.
That would be fun.
You gotta just start, at like a random time. You gotta start at that weird hour of like when the restaurants are not busy on like a Saturday between like 2 to 4.
Yeah. Before the dinner rush, but
in between after the lunch rush, before and then just roll into it.
And it's just like a nice vibe being on Beach Drive over there for sure.
Yeah. So I just enjoy that. I think the company you make and the conversation makes the food taste better.
I love that. It does, for sure. And there's so many good restaurants here. It's so hard to choose. Like, there's new ones all the time. Like, there's so many. Every time I'm like, oh, let's go try something else. I never go back.
I know.
You don't even have to go back to the same restaurant
I can't even keep
twice.
up. I think we're going to start St. Pete Eats and Talkin St. Pete Eats and try to keep up with the restaurant game.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, going to be a whole thing. Since you're telling us to stop and smell the roses, Erica, where do we find you? How do we come to one of the workshops? How do we get in touch? Give us all the info.
All the ways. You can always go on our website. It's literally theroamingpetal.com. All of our stuff is pretty easy. Instagram, we post all our stuff on there. The Roaming Petal, at The Roaming Petal, Facebook, all the fun things. We always have monthly calendars kind of going up each month, each quarter, things like that. So you can pop on there. You can book a class. You can sign up for your own, whatever you want to do. But yeah, or you can come to the shop. We're at 54th Ave North and 16th Street.
Is there shop hours?
We are open Tuesday to Friday from 10 to 6. Sure. Workshops usually happen after that 6 o'clock mark in the evening. And then Saturdays we're open from 10 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can always just pop in. We also have a drive-through there, so you can just come by the drive-through.
Drive-through flower
grab
shop.
flowers and say hi.
Okay. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Super
I love
fun.
it. Well, Erica, I really appreciate you coming on. This
Of
is great. You bring
course.
so much sunshine to St. Pete with everything that you're doing. So thank you
Yeah.
for keep doing that and all the collaboration. And if you haven't collaborated with the Roaming Petal yet, you need to. You need to do that or sign up for a workshop.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And I have to say, have a bloomingful day.
Have a bloomingful day, everyone. Yes, love it. Love it. Go follow the Roaming Petal if you're not already. Go stop by, check out Erica's workshops. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.